Morning, Friday morning. You're privileged enough to be waking up at this time. For those of you who are already on the job, it's like, it's time to be on the job. You have to hustle for your money. I suppose that's what life is. Life is taking some serious turns, and I think that a lot of us are being left behind because we're not keeping up to what's happening. We're not staying tuned to staying abreast of what's going on. And another thing is that we've lost our ability to analyze and think for ourselves. It's a lot of things that is happening right now in this world, and a lot of times, and now I realize a lot of people are not aware of it. My name is Sandra Quilliatterton. It's about that time. One thing I know is for a fact, it's the time for Your Views. Your Views is a program that is aired on Win FM every Friday morning from 10 o'clock. From 10 o'clock, sorry about that. I had to change my mic from 10 o'clock, but don't set your watch on my time. It's not 10 o'clock in the studios for Win FM. It's 20 minutes past 10, actually. I'm 20 minutes late. It's normally, sometimes you're running behind another program, and sometimes it becomes so interesting that people take the time to continue. But we share like here. I suppose that's the world needs love, and we need to learn to share and care. Sharing is caring, and I suppose we practice that here at Win FM. So those of you who have been in tune, waiting to hear the program, Your Views, I apologize for any inconvenience that this late start would have caused, but it's life. Life is not supposed to be all planned. Sometimes you have to be spontaneous, and this is one of the times that we are being spontaneous. My name is Sandra Quilliatterton. I'm the host normally for Your Views, which is a program that is aired on Win FM every Friday morning around 10 o'clock, like I said before. It's a program where you can call in sometimes and share your views. Most of the time, I like to make sure that people are properly informed, because I said earlier, a lot of times now we realize in the times like these, we have lost our ability to think, and we find that we are guided by people, and we're just like lamb to the slaughters, and we are walking freely, slowly, but and unsure of what the end is going to be. But because of who we are, gullible human beings and dependent human beings, we tend to find ourselves in situations. So that is one of the reasons why I bring people on the program who can help us to start to look back and find ourselves again and see how we can make a difference to ourselves and to the community that you're living, and even to an extension to the country that you live. We have to realize that this is 2021. Time has really flown. Life is never going to be the same again. We are battling COVID-19. Even if it's not COVID, it's going to be something else. We still don't understand how much longer it's going to last, the duration of it. But one of the good things that hopes we have hope that people are surviving, people are recovering, some people are dying. Vaccination is out there. People have a choice whether or not they should take it. In some countries, it's been mandated that you have to take it. For those of you who you have enough time now to think about whether or not you should want to be vaccinated, weighing the pros and the cons and seeing if it's the right thing to do. We see, and the science is saying that vaccination saves lives. I think we can only listen to the science because we're not scientists ourselves. And there are lots of scientists who say one thing and there are others who say otherwise. So it's for you to be able to analyze and decide, make that decision. It's a decision that you have to make. Life is good. Agiland.
Morning, greetings.
Good morning and welcome to Your Views.
Yeah, man, good morning, and morning to the general public and the whole diaspora,
Yeah, I know you're very soft-spoken, Agiland, but you have to talk hard. You always say, oh, I can't hear him, so, you have to,
Okay.
Yeah, I know, it's tough for you to do
Well,
outside your comfort zone. I know you're very soft and subtle, and mellow, not subtle, very soft and mellow, and so Brenda Woods always got you. So I think you have to talk a little louder. Agiland, we're in a complex world. It's fight, flight, fright. It's just that, the 3 Fs. People you don't know if you should be afraid. You don't know how to fight back. And people are very anxious, and anxiety is taking over because of fear. And so I think fear comes because some people don't have enough information and they don't understand the alternatives. But it's a situation where you have to do either or. It's either you protect yourself or you protect yourself. So it's protecting yourself is absolutely necessary. You can do it the natural way, or you can do it the way that the pharmaceutical way, whichever way you're comfortable with. Some people like to work the natural way, and people have to understand the natural way takes a little while longer. You have to, it's a commitment. You have to make some sacrifices, and people think that the pharmaceutical way is just put your shoulder, take a jab, and that's the end of the story. So it is difficult for a lot of us to make that decision of what you want to do. And I think the difficulty comes in because you don't even know why you have to make that decision, because that information is not out there. People are talking about it for wealth. People are talking about it for entertainment. People are using the jab for different reasons, except the real one, that is to protect yourself from a virus that you seem not have an understanding of. Because information is changing on a daily basis. One time your body can produce that antibodies, and that's why I have you here. And the next time, that you don't know how long those antibodies last, and so therefore you have to take something that science would have studied, not having an understanding of how long that lasts either, but it's just what it is. What do we do?
Well, what happened really actually about the antibodies, I mean, the antibodies is just an imprint that the cell make within our body. You understand? A memory, you know what I mean? It produces, something to fight whatever
Looks different, yeah.
come into your body and them type of stuff, you know what I mean? So it's just a memory that your cell create, and all the cells have it within them. So if that virus comes again, you understand, your body now will have the immune response to that virus, what is threatening your body at the same time.
Okay, so I suppose that's why they came up with the mRNA, where you have that whatever they inject inside of you. It's just I'm going to use whatever because I don't know what it is,
That's
and
true.
I don't want to say things that I don't know.
That's true.
They would inject it in you, and then it would create that whenever it recognizes something that looks different, then it would definitely provide the antibodies for your body to fight.
Yeah, I mean, that is what the vaccines is all about. I mean, they produce the vaccines, so when they insert it in you, your body going to create that antibody, you understand, that memory within the cell. So whenever the virus to come within your body, it would now have that memory to defend.
Yeah, so it knows that you're not supposed to be here, and so your body's going to fight.
So that is the purpose of the vaccine, basically, to the people. Now, in the case of someone now who haven't taken the vaccine,
That's happened. Don't worry about that. People do call in sometimes, and they would hear you on the radio, and they would not recognize that you're doing a program, and they definitely were calling, and it's an interruption. But that's normal. That's life. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
As I was saying now, in a case where you haven't taken the vaccine, you ain't get a chance to take the vaccine, and you get the COVID, and you survive it, basically, your body, what you do in that time when you have the virus is creating an antibody for that virus, same way.
Yeah.
You understand? So now, if your immune system is strong enough, you overcome it, you understand? And then your body have that memory. So if you get the COVID a second time again, you have the memory within your body, so it produces the immune response to fight against that virus. You understand?
Yeah, and you see, it's good that you say that, but it comes down to, I like the word that you use, if your immune system is strong enough. So if whether or not you're vaccinated, because a lot of people look at the fact that, I'm vaccinated and I can't get it. There's some breakthrough cases where even though you've been vaccinated, you can contract the virus. So we talk about building a very strong immune system, and that's one of the reasons why I brought you here. Whether or not it's vax or not vax, you have to make sure that your immune system is strong enough.
Well, I mean, what do you say? You say vax and ex-vax? They are in the same boat.
Yeah.
When you say that now, right? According to the science, you know what I mean? If you are vaccinated, you still can get the virus, right? And they're saying that you still can spread it. It's just that the chances are your body will have the immune response to fight whatever, right? I mean, the same thing, if you're unvaccinated and you catch the virus, okay, for example, we have 1,000 cases here on the island, and just join
Over 1,000.
Just join a reference now. Say 500 people vaccinated and 500 unvaxxed. You understand? what happened in those cases are, I mean, we only have 10 deaths. You understand? And as you see, if the evidence is there to show, say 10 people who die who is unvaccinated, you understand? I mean, ain't nothing big within that same way, you
The
understand?
scope, when you look at the scope, you think that, and people look at those figures, they say, oh, the statistics is showing that only 10 people die.
Well, with the
I mean,
at the
10
speed-
10 lives are important, though.
Yeah, but I mean, just join the reference and just to let me open our mind and see what I'm trying to say, basically, you know. Okay, 10 people passed away, you know what I mean? But the other 490 from the 500, right? Or which is unvax. The other 490, their body created the antibodies. So the question we have to ask now, do they need to be vaccinated?
Those the unvaccinated. You see, that's a problem we have where we don't have that information from the scientists yet. But they're saying that everybody should, whether or not you have been exposed to the virus, you should be vaccinated. Let's talk natural medicine. I think that's where we at, because the science we can't seem to, we don't have information to.
Well, according to them,
Yeah, well, we have to look at based on what the science is saying, because you ask Fauci and he says, I think everybody should be vaccinated, and then you have other people who...
Well, the purpose of a vaccine, basically, because we're talking medicine and natural and, you know, I mean, is this. It is given to you so your body can create an immune response and we produce antibodies. Somebody is inserting something within you, you understand, something foreign, but you know, remember the vaccine is not 100% as the virus. It's only a mimic.
Yeah.
You understand?
Some of the spike proteins is used for,
right?
they take from it. But
good. It is not the 100%. When someone who is unvaxxed get that virus, they get it 100%. So
and
their
that
body,
is one of the reasons why
their body produces the antibody to that virus for the 100%. Versus what somebody always created.
Wow.
Anyway,
we are, that's why we're here, so we can talk about the natural, because I know sooner or later I'm going to get a call, and people are going to talk about it. But like I said, everybody has a choice, and they choose what they want.
That's my view, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they choose what they want to do.
Yeah.
And with information, and that's what we give information, so people can make an informed decision. Let's talk about the natural aspect, because whether or not you're vaccinated, you have to have a strong enough immune system, because the vaccination doesn't build your immune system. It helps your body to create antibodies to fight the virus that comes in, but you have to fight. Yeah. Your body has to fight. So therefore, you have to make sure that your body is in a position or in a condition in which it can fight.
Yeah, our body is a sophisticated machinery, you know, and that's the thing about it. If you don't understand your body, who you are, what your body can do, then you're going to turn to something outside and think that's going to give you the solution.
That's where fear comes in. You operate on fear.
Definitely.
Because we have no information about what our bodies can do.
Definitely.
And you know, it's sad though, and I'm going to say this. I am going to say this because it's sad where people are not given information that is absolutely necessary in order for them to make a decision. And then you have situations where for the lack of information, you have to make quick decisions, and later on it can be detrimental. Or later on it can save your lives. You don't know, because people are looking at the fact now they're making reference to in the past. You know, when you had you have different pandemics, and you know, vaccination would have helped to curtail the spread. And you know, you talk about inoculations, children are getting that against other viruses that have been out there, and that would control the spread. But in natural medicine, there are antiviral plants that you can use. As a matter of fact, in the pharmaceutical drug that you use, most of the time, 98.9% of the time, it has plant-based medicine that acts like antibiotics or antiviral medication, so that you could help your body to fight a virus. Because one of the things that I see doctors do, And I can say what I see doctors do because it happened to me, where you go and you have a viral infection, and doctor is treating you with an antibiotic.
See,
Which is, for me, it's crazy because what it does, an antibiotic already weakens your immune system.
Yeah.
And you already need that strong immune system to fight. But again, what we tend to do is that we wait until we get sick to start to boost our immune system.
sure. I mean, to boost our immune system, you know, food should be our medicine. You understand? And if food is your medicine, you know, I mean, why we eat? You know,
Because I like food. I
know,
eat
I
because it
mean,
is good.
but you know, from the foods, is the nutrients, basically is what we are trying to get from our body, you know, because the body is extracting everything from the food that we eat, and everything come out as waste. You understand? So what are they extracting is the nutrients that, you know, the mineral content within the food. I mean, if you eat live food, you know, I mean, they're full of phytonutrients, phytochemicals, you know, and these, you know, help to strengthen the immune system, you know, antioxidant. This is what our body need.
Yeah.
You understand? And when we eat food, devitamize, you know, lack of vitamin and minerals and them type of stuff. For example, you know, I mean, different type of products, you know, and the white flowers, you don't know, and you
Sugar,
know,
the white sugar.
all these, you know,
Yeah.
which being bleached, and the rice, because what happen, they take away the natural kernel from after the rice, you know, the germ, and which is very, you know, that's the fiber, you
That's
know,
what it
and that is what helps to remove a lot of waste within our body. So when you get something that is not in its natural and holistic way, you understand, then we get, I mean, this is not disease. This is, our body is not at ease. So our body is disease, you know. So is understanding, when we understand well the importance of food and the value of what it has, because herbs are food. They have in the mineral content that our body do need. The vitamins and the minerals and the drugs and that they're making, as you're saying, from the plant-based material. They extract the active ingredients them, and they put different compounds together, and they make that drug, you know. But and then you get side effects from that because it's not in the natural form. You understand? I mean, you versus you drink an orange where you get vitamin C, and you take a vitamin C tablets, right? The orange now having more trace minerals within that to complement the vitamin C. But within the tablets form now, it might not have in all those trace mineral, and when we consume those type of stuff now, that is where we have complication. That's why I draw the reference to saying, well, I mean, if somebody give you something within you, which is not in a natural form, you're going to have more side effects. That is why you see people might say, oh, I got these side effects when they take the vaccine. But if your body natural, you're not going to get no more side effects.
You see, that's an actual.
You understand?
One of the things that I'm glad that you would have made mention of that. You know, people look at me sometimes and they say I'm very controversial. I'm not controversial. I look at the facts. And I debate facts. I don't want anybody come and talk to me based on assumptions. And if the facts are there, why are you going to dispute the facts? Plants are natural.
Yeah.
We were supposed to be natural human beings. When we were created, those Christians or those who believe in the creation, we understood that God, the Creator God, He created us from people would say from the ground. The ground from the earth, just like the plants, depends on the mineral from the earth. Then our bodies are filled with that from the soil. If the soil is filled with minerals, then our bodies are filled with minerals. In order for us to sustain life, then you have to feed it basically the same thing that it needs. Then let's start looking at the foods that we eat: the white rice, the white sugar, the pastas. We're eating poison on a daily basis. I can talk about it because I've been eating it too. So I'm not going to separate myself and say, oh, you are. But we have been eating poison. Let's look at a fowl. In my days, fowls, they were free range. They run around, they ate what was natural for them, and we ate them, and we would from that would extract the nutrients from that. The plants. We grew up on bush tea. We were not common cold was not too common in my days.
True.
I mean, we were not as sick as this. We were not exposed to all of these sicknesses that are out there now. We sat in the sun. We walked to school. We did a lot of things where we were absorbing the natural elements, that natural nutrients. We extracted them. Not extracted, it was there for us because that's how we were designed. But we move away from that. Our children drive to school. At mornings, they don't eat porridge anymore. They have a box drink and a piece of bread filled with flour, no nutrients at all there, and some processed ham or processed cheese. And it's the poison that we feed our children on a daily basis. And so that's one of the reasons why when we are exposed to pandemics or viruses that affects all of us, our bodies do not have that mechanism, the fighting mechanism to fight. Our immune system is down. Why?
Well, the reason why, you know what I mean, as we have seen over the years, consuming all these, I mean, the vitamized food, the fast foods, them, you know, it deplete our body, you understand? It break down. It's like we have AIDS, in a sense, where we acquired immune deficiencies.
Symptom, all of us.
You
All of us
understand?
have AIDS then.
Well, according to the medical version of it, you know.
Yeah, we are, because it's an
we
immune
lack.
yeah.
It's an immune deficiency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not saying, you know
We
what I
have
mean?
virus, HIV.
Right,
we
but
are-
by consuming, and they understand that too, you know, because they know what they've been feeding us.
yeah.
You know, I mean, some of the, I will just talk soft, because if I talk too hard, the
Yeah.
things them I will say, you're going to offend a lot of people.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's why
So you
just-
keep that mellow mood because you can stay mellow.
You know
But
what I
that's the
mean?
problem I have because, you know, you want to talk about it, Ajulan, and we need to talk about it, but this is not basically the medium to do so. But it upsets me a lot of time when we see how we have been fed junk. I'm talking about food, not just the food, but the information that we've been given. And we still, like a lamb to the slaughter, I remember having a discussion one time. I made mention, and I called the name of a business place, and I was, you know, it was later on, I apologized because I don't want to deprive anybody of their businesses because that's what people want to live. But the sad thing about it, you look and see how people are fed this poison so that we can survive.
Well, I mean, is time enough? Just like, you know, we have plastics that goes into the ocean and mess up the fish, create a problem. And we said, yeah, let's try to decrease, you know, change, you know, you have alternative measures, you know. I mean, in the companies, they decide they want to start to include natural stuff within their products out in the States and Europe and in places there, you know. They had those type of discussion because they see where it has been a problem to their people because people being obese and I mean, no people getting diabetes at young age, but it's what we consume. You understand?
If you look at cornflakes and all of those cereals, they have chemicals in there that people use to clean pools with, cleaning agents that find themselves inside of these cornflakes. We wonder why our children, over the years, so many children have asthma. Talk about chronic diseases like hypertension and diabetes. And you ask yourself the question, where are these coming from? And we never stop to think it's because of the foods that we're eating, our bodies deprived of nutrients.
Yeah, because, you know, when we eat a lot of them stuff, they have in a lot of preservatives, you know, and the preservatives are basically chemicals, basically, you know what I mean? But it's because of what we're being fed through the media, the TVs, and what we see the commercials, them, and you understand?
And children like that, you know.
Right, because
and they cry, Mommy, can I have some cornflakes?
because they understand the stimulation of colors upon the mind. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's a holistic thing, basically. You know, it's not just a simple thing as we see it. You understand? There's a lot of different things that go together and create these kind of energies.
And we can't sit down here and say, Lord, why though? It's human nature. You talk about the vitamins that you buy in the store. Ascorbic acid is one of the things that we use for vitamin C. That is made. It's not the natural form. Your body doesn't even know how to deal with it.
Sure.
And people go to the drugstore and you buy 5,000 milligrams because that's what they tell you of vitamin C. We don't know. I was having a discussion with a friend of mine and I tell him, look on those bottles that you buy all of those vitamins from, and you see a thing called magnesium stearate. Magnesium stearate is very carcinogenic, and most of these, because it's a stabilizer, and they use these things to stabilize and to hold. You have a lot of fillers in there, and most of the time when you buy vitamins, you're not even getting 10% of what is supposed to be in there. It's all these fillers and all the other things that they add in, and so you're spending all this money to Big Farm, and you're realizing that you're still getting sicker and sicker because a lot of people take a lot of vitamins. That is the one that you go and buy. It's easy for us.
Plants, Sabine, you know, when you go to the doctor will tell you, eat a lot of greens.
Yeah.
I mean, why you tell you eat greens? Like I have the magnesium, the protein, the
everything that you want in a tablet.
I mean, for example, the tree of life, moringa. That's packed with nutrients. You know, more vitamin A. That's what's in
carrots and more vitamin C that is in
you understand? Yeah. And we have purslane and, you know, Bohevia diffuser. These are some superfoods we have around here. These are densely packed foods, you know, much more dense than kale and spinach and all those there.
I remember, let me tell you, I remember when I went with you and you gave me the amaranth, the hog meat that we used to, and I went home and I put it in a curry. I'm gonna tell you, it was curry with the coconut milk in there. And my children asked again, when are you going to make that stew again? It's really, really tasty.
Yeah,
but a lot of things we don't know of. Everybody's tend to look at the spinach, the imported kale that you bring here and think that is the right thing to use. Because that's what we are taught. You turn on the TV or you go on the phone, on the internet, and you have people who are talking about these things. But although they're vegetables, we think that they're just vegetables. All vegetables are not the same.
True.
People, vegetables too, you think that you're eating, I'm just having a salad. But in the salad have pesticides because you have to get rid of the pests more so than anything else. You're shipping it, so you have to have it sprayed so that it can be preserved and the color can stay there. And you then later on you have to consume it.
Well, it's better to eat. I mean, you mean local, you know, because you know what I mean. If you're eating local, you get it fresh and you know where it's coming from. You understand? So if we as a people start to consume more local food, then we will see a lot of health issues change and them type of stuff. And you know, and even preparing the food is very important, you know what I mean? Because you have to know how to prepare the food as a whole. I mean, sometimes if you overcook the food, then you lose the nutritional value.
Yeah, too many heat.
You
and you see, we are not even aware of that. We don't know what heat kills or what heat extracts. And so we go around, we cook all our food because it's something that we're accustomed to, it's tradition. We grow up and we see our parents cooking the food, and so we grow up and we start to eat the same cooked food. But our parents were cooking foods that they would have grown. We are cooking foods that we are paying for. We've imported. There's a difference. And we say, but our parents were cooking the food over the years, but they were cooking food that they grew that was grown in our backyard. That's how I grew up. But we are cooking foods that we imported, and we don't know how it was how it was cultivated.
True. And the things, you know, well, that's is just a way how we think, you know, because enough people we just want to go to the supermarket to say, well, in the supermarket, and but we should just start to look at life more different as a people, and you know, it's our health, and your health is your wealth. You understand?
I remember listening to a program that they had, an interview with Bill Gates, and Bill Gates made a statement, and he said, the reason why we get sick, the reason why cancer is so prevalent amongst us, the reason why we have all these chronic diseases is because we are human beings and natural beings, and we're eating things that are genetically modified. And he said, in order to solve the problem, what he will have to do later on is genetically modify human beings so that we can eat the foods that we produce. And I couldn't be, it was an eye-opener for me. And then that's why I started looking at things differently, because if that's your intention then everything that you present, then I have to start to look at differently. But it is a fact, though, that we eat a lot of genetically modified foods. The drugs that we use, they're genetically modified. I remember, again, looking at a documentary where I saw people using sludge from under the sink to use as fillers or binders to make tablets, vitamins that we're eating now, and some of the drugs that you use.
True.
And you ask yourself, and this is the reality. We're seeing it with our eyes, but we're not believing it. Why?
They're pumping us with a lot of chemicals, you know. I mean, You know what I mean? Everywhere we go is just chemicals within our system.
And our system is not designed to, it's an overload.
you understand?
And that is one of the reasons why we're getting so sick.
That is one of the major reasons, you know. So any little thing come in the air, a lot of people, the system go down. They get, you know what I mean? And due to the fact that they're not consuming natural food and they eating food lack of mineral and them type of stuff. You understand? Because, you know, you look at the way how some people prepare food and them type of stuff. They got a lot of rice, they got potato, they gonna get macaroni pie, you understand? Or they might got some Irish potato there, and then they got the chicken or what's not, and a little bit of vegetables, you understand?
Or
and a little
none.
salad.
Or none.
Or none. And that's how they sell it, basically. So what do you think again? You ain't getting a food, you're getting a full belly. You understand?
It's good for you to say that. And people eat because they're hungry, and so they're
Yeah.
just looking for a full belly.
So-
not for the nutrients, because we never stop to think when we're eating food, we're looking for nutrients. We eat because we are hungry.
When I look at the population and look at our people, if we people look at ourselves and check, you understand, to see how our body is, you know, I mean, the BMI for our body, the body mass index, you know, a lot of us overweight, you understand, and that's where, because all the food builds up within the system, create a blockage, create plaque, a lot of plaque within the body. So now we get diabetes, we get high blood pressure, you know what I mean? We get all those type of stuff, and these are lifestyle diseases, you know, just by why we get them is just because of what we consume. We consume food lack in minerals, and we eat in less greens. You understand?
But you know, sometimes, okay, for example, we have lupus. We have lots of autoimmune diseases. You have Hashimoto's, one of the problems that you face on a daily basis, and you have to fight it. And again, you eat foods and you try as much. Vegetables and I are not really the best of friends, but I eat things like I look at foods otherwise. I'm not a big meat eater, or I don't eat a lot of things. And people will ask, well, if you don't eat so much things, how come you're so fat? It's because of the fact that you have other situations that you have to deal with. You have thyroid issues, the autoimmune diseases. Because you take stuff. I remember after I gave birth, because I was naturally slim. After I gave birth, I started to gain lots of pounds, and then you went, you have to see an endocrinologist. They said you go to see an endocrinologist. They start telling you about hormonal imbalances, things that you don't know of, and and a lot of things that are very taboo to or people here. So certain discussions you don't want to have.
Well,
I mean,
autoimmune diseases and thyroid issues, there is some more complicated diseases. I'm not saying that diseases really, you know, I mean disease basically. You understand?
disease.
Yeah, where the body is not at functioning the right way.
Yeah.
You know, hormone imbalances. You know, mood function, different aspect of the mind. You know, and that now is more to do with the endocrine system. You know, to strengthen up the endocrine system. You know, and you know, in treating those type of things is very ticklish, because
You don't know the source. You don't know what posed the problem in the first instance, because that's one of the things that doctors will say. You have to understand the actual cause, and a lot of them don't seem to understand it yet. When you ask questions, but why is it happening? They don't seem to understand why it is happening.
Well, it's a lot of hormone imbalances, you know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, within the pituitary gland and all those glands there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are secrete.
Different hormones.
Juices,
Yeah.
and all these, because the body is a holistic thing.
Yeah.
Everything, I mean, if somebody hits you, you cry, so I'm trying to express.
Yeah, I understand what it is, and I understand what you're trying to say. People always say we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Our bodies were designed in a certain, so if there's one thing that is off balance, for example, let's look at magnesium, potassium, and calcium. These are three things that your body, these are three minerals, and plus selenium and iron and zinc, that your body needs basically to survive.
Yeah.
But if you have a little dip, an imbalance within potassium or the ratio of magnesium to calcium, and you have just a slight imbalance, you pose problems. You have palpitations.
Yep.
You have things where you have tick, where your body just starts to jump and do things that it's not supposed to do. You have burning sensations. You have lots of different things. You can even have a heart attack when these little things are not, they're out of balance. So these are little things, but the ordinary person does not understand that. So when you're eating food and say you eat a balanced diet, people think a balanced diet means that, oh, let's just have a salad and some chicken, or let's just have, not realizing that the content, the food content, the nutritional value of the food content, you don't know because you don't even know how these foods are grown.
Well, food that a group, to get a balanced meal, you know what I mean? You need oils inside of it, you know what I mean? Legumes, you know what I mean? Little, because the oils are fats, you know what I mean?
And that's what your brain needs.
Some protein, so by having these combined, I mean, you make a salad, you chance some oil on top of that, and you know what I mean? And
but you see, and that's a contradiction, because a lot of time people are telling you, oh, you have to avoid oils because it makes you fat. And or you have to avoid, they always tell you what you have to avoid because it has a complete negative effect. But then later on you hear, you have to take your fatty acids. You have to, because your brain only fat feeds the brain. And that is one of the reasons why you have so many people suffering from dementia, Alzheimer's, and all those kind, because they're not eating. You try to avoid fatty foods. Yeah.
The brain is like fat, you know.
Yeah, it's only, that's what it feeds on,
you
fat.
Understand? So, I mean, fat is very important for the body.
Yeah.
You understand? To metabolize. You understand? And it helps even produce energy. You understand? So, like cannabis and them type of stuff is very, very important when you use cannabis within the body also, with oils and them type of stuff. It creates more because within our body still we have a lot of cannabinoid receptors within our body. So by using the oils then and cannabis as a whole, you understand, it creates a very powerful reaction within the body as a whole.
Yeah, just like flaxseed oil, they have different type of omega-3 fatty acids that your body needs. If you're not getting it, we look at the myriads of problem that you have if you're not taking these things. And the ordinary man does not understand that. We don't know these things.
That's true,
And so the people who are selling the foods, they themselves don't even know it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we ain't trying to bash nobody, but I mean, just expressing how.
Yeah, but it's what it is. It's just.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I see it on a regular, but it's nothing I can do. I just try to elevate people about the situations too, you know what I mean?
And when I'm hungry, I look for a belly full. When I'm not hungry, I can sit down and I can start to decide what meal I'm going to take, and I'm going to sit down.
It's survival.
Yeah, it is the human nature. That's what we do.
You understand? It's survival, I mean, sometimes, because sometimes we in the offices we working and we're not doing nothing physical, but we're eating a heavy food. We should be eating much lighter food, you know what I mean? So,
But you know what, though, Arjun, because we're going into some difficult areas, and people on a daily basis, people are not going to look at it. What I would say to people is simply this: if we eat the right foods, meaning the less processed foods, then you can eat as much as you want because that's what your body needs. So if you like to eat a lot, then look for foods that are not processed. But when you go and you start to buy these foods that are processed, it's not even the food that when it's cooked, but even buying it in the supermarket, these processed canned stuff. Could you imagine you have peas on a shelf for 2 years? Then you ask yourself the question, how can you preserve? If you put peas down, it's not going to last for 2 years. So then you ask yourself the question, what is preserving that peas? You eat tuna out of a can. A tuna can stay on the shelf for about 2 years. If you put tuna down for 2 days, it starts to stink. It rots. Then you ask yourself, what are they using to preserve that tuna so that you can eat it whenever you want to? And those are simple things. Those are simple steps that you have to start to take to ask yourself the question, if you're going to eat that poison because you're preserving this food, if you're going to eat that, what is it going to do to your body?
True. And by asking yourself that question now, that's where the power comes from, because now you start to become conscious of thyself. And when you become conscious of thyself, then you're going to recognize, well, so many options there, that alternatives that you can use in like the herbs to supplement stuff what your body really needs. You understand? And, people just have to become conscious and aware of what they're consuming and what's around them.
I know people are going to ask, you're not just saying these things, but tell us what we can eat.
What we can eat.
Yeah.
Eat a lot of natural stuff, fruits.
Yeah.
You know.
Fruits in season?
Fruits in season for a reason.
Yeah, okay, cool.
You know, and every month we have a lot of fruits wasting. The monkey them gain all of them. You know what I mean?
We are buying the apples and imported pears when we have the guavas that are sitting down there, the sugar apples that I love.
And the farmers them need to come to and make it more convenient to the people them to get the food at a, I mean, cheaper rate.
Yeah,
you understand?
expensive.
Because is food is, I mean, disposable goods.
If you don't sell it, you're going to kick it back home and it's going to spoil. So my thing is, if you're going to make it affordable, then you're going to take home less because it's tough. You walk down the road. Let me tell you something, Adjutant. I walk and I buy from the vendors, and I spend $100 for like plantains, sweet potato.
It's ridiculous with the
other
prices,
yam.
man.
And when you look at the little bit of stuff you carry home for $100, it's ridiculous. Who can do that? I mean, you just want to go home and you're gonna get a pot, and you can't a pound of potato they can tell you for $5. Well, thanks to Al, I can get my potatoes for $3.50.
You know, but I mean, not bashing the farmers then, but our farmers need to come much more better than that and more conscious than that, and you know, because by dropping the price them, you know what I'm saying, your food turn over faster.
And you have less wastage.
And our people could become more healthier.
Yeah.
Because now you could get, for example, you buy a pound of cucumber. You get one cucumber, right? Mm-hmm. You can't estimate drink and salad.
No,
you understand? But then if you give the people a pound of cucumber where they could get 3 and 4 at a reasonable price, because now, I mean, a pound gone on to a half pound price. You understand?
Yeah, and
so you get 2 for 1. A pound you get. You understand? So they get more sell. You understand? And the customers then get more for what they're buying.
Yeah.
And they could make salad. They could make juice. You got carrots. You could cook. You make the juice. And you understand?
You look at the avocados, for example. Avocado is a superfood, and it hurts me when you see. You throw it in a box, it's spoiled, and you only throw it away. If you would say that, okay, they're ripe, so then sell me a ripe avocado for $3.50, and then you could sell me one that I have to put up for ripe for $4 or $5. Okay, because of the fact that the shelf life on this is it's longer. So I don't mind, but they don't weigh that. So you bring it out and you don't sell it. You carry it back home. You're going to throw it away. If you made $2 on that, $2 is more than throwing it away because you have to throw it away.
Yeah.
And I that's the area I find these farmers are not doing. And the goods that they're selling, it's mediocre.
Definitely. I mean, you look at the goods, you got paid on long there and turn brown, and if you don't turn brown like that, you're not ready to decompose, eh?
Yeah.
And then you really go buy that. You can't say put it down for today and tomorrow to say, well, okay, I'm doing something else today, so I won't get it pay, you know, so you got to buy it fresh if anything.
Yeah, and this is one of the areas, I mean, we have to talk about this again. Time runs so quickly. I mean, we started very late, but it's what it is. But those are the areas that we have to talk about, because I don't think, you know, these farmers put in enough thought into the way that they're doing things, they produce. If you have if you have carrots and you have lots of carrots, you have to get it off quickly. Instead of selling a pound of carrot for $5, sell a pound of carrot for $2.50.
Not supposed to cost no $5.
And that's what I'm saying. It's just too expensive.
No $5.
When you plant, for example, nuts, you put in two nuts, two pegs, you have a whole, how many nuts come on that?
True.
But you want to sell, this is another thing, you want to sell them so expensive.
No, if they go half of the price what they're selling at right now per pound,
they'll make more
money because
they'll make more because they have less wastage.
You know why? They need to trade with half of what they got.
Yes, it's true.
So if you're selling half, you will be at the same level.
I had that discussion one time with
everybody could be happy.
I had a discussion one time with this farmer. When I look and see all of his bananas are wasting because they're overripe, I said to him, look, if you would have sold that for half price yesterday, you know how much money you were going to make? All that money that you didn't make yesterday, you're going to throw it away today. because they're not good. Nobody wants to buy these bananas. It attracts flies is the first thing. It makes your area look unhealthy. Nobody gonna come and buy from you because your stall is not organized. When you go up on there on the pond road, there's a stall that I just love to see. Properly organized. The pineapples are looking, they are attractive, the ones to come and buy. And I said to the girl, when you have stuff like, when you have ripe avocado should not sell for the same price of the half ripe, the ones that they're going to last longer, because the shelf life is already less.
Yeah,
but people don't make those calculations.
True. That's true.
And that's one of the reasons why I said agriculture department have to start sitting down now with our farmers and try to guide them along the way.
Because that is better. I mean, in the UK, when you go to the supermarket, they food them in the morning, say a pound for this, by time in the night,
It's cheaper.
20 pence.
Yeah, because
because the value don't drop in tomorrow, they need fresh things in the shelf.
Yeah.
They ain't want nothing to hold up and stagnant with them.
But you see,
It's
we get
fresh food quality.
our planters or farmers get away with selling us mediocre stuff for the same price, because you buy some stuff when you go home, you can't even use them. The edibles, they're soft. They spoil.
Spotty on the
Yeah,
inside
it's
and
not
something
good.
you
Yeah,
can't really see.
potatoes are bleached because
Yeah,
you can't see it when you cut the because they weigh out stuff. You know what I mean? You don't want to throw it in a bag and give you, and you go home with it, and they get away with that, and it's not right because you're not getting value for your money.
Definitely.
And these are the things that we have to start looking. If we want to concentrate and we want to become a little more conscious of the things that we consume, then we have to start looking at, and not just from within us, but look from a holistic point of view, where the planters have to be engaged, because you're the consumers, and you want to be able to buy these things, but you can't afford to buy it, and so therefore we're going to eat all of those processed foods.
That's why the people are eating the processed food, because you know why? Them saying, well, the food them is too expensive.
Yeah,
And
can't afford
they
to buy
have
local.
to do that way. But if the farmers them go down, it'll be better for everybody.
Yeah.
You understand? Everybody. Because when people start to eat more local, then people start to become more creative.
Yeah.
And do a lot of different stuff and them type of stuff. Make pie, make jams, make all type of different
Yeah,
stuff.
when you can get it, you can
understand?
do that. Yeah.
But then you can't do stuff because things are so expensive. Whereas when you try to buy the material, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I like the statement that you make. If you come down on your prices, you make more money than if you have it at a higher price, and it's a fact. Because your wastage, the stuff that you throw away, you would be selling it instead of throwing it away.
Yeah.
But I think they're more comfortable throwing it away in opposed to selling it. And when you tell them anything about it, then they're going to look at you and say, you know how much I had to buy it for? And so we have to look at the producers selling it to they call them the ton hand them.
Well, I just talked to the ton on them. That's why I'm speaking.
Yeah.
When I go to them, I don't go buy food. And I'll be telling them, no. I just don't know. I'm just doing my thing to, but me in the position right now. But if I was, because if I got one pumpkin, how much seeds you get from that?
It's true.
You understand? So it's not very one okra. How much seed in the okra?
Exactly.
Just one.
Yeah.
You understand? So where is the last? Where is the? You understand?
They don't
so
calculate
they could give more, and they get more
value for the money.
and get more turnover. Trust me, it'd be better for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Ajahn, it's a pleasure. We are out of time.
No problem.
I'm having this conversation, not realizing I'm on the radio. I still feel like you and I was just having that discussion. I just had to catch myself sometimes and realize, oh shoot, I'm on the radio and I'm running out of time. It's not every day you can talk, because then I can talk well. And but it was very informative, and this information like this is what we want to get. And so therefore, we are quite grateful for when I asked you to come, that we could come. Information is key, and knowing is already half the battle. So we need people who's going to come and who's going to inform us and advise us on the way forward.
No problem. It's nice being here and to share some knowledge with the public and everything. You know what I mean?
And for those of you who are in tune, I would like to, it's only fair for Ajahn. Ajahn is a local. Ajahn is into herbal medicine, and trust me, I use lots of his products, and I can attest to you that they do work. I mean, for those of you who have, and everybody always, what are your credentials? Doctors get that, and they practice medicine, and they continue to practice. This is a person who would learn from experience, who have it hands-on, and for those of you who are interested to contact Ajahn, we didn't talk about diseases and cures for diseases. Those are the things that Ajahn can tell you. He has that experience, and if you want to talk to him, anybody wants to, directly contact him, his number is 46634. That's the number, Agilon. So those of you who are interested in trying to contact Agilon, he's not just about herbal medicine. He has a wealth. He can talk to you. He has more patience than Job, and he knows exactly what he's doing. And that is one of the reasons why I basically liaise with Agilon. My name is Sandra Quilly Atherton. It's always been a pleasure having this program with and having the discussion so that you can be informed. Like I said, we were not. The lines were not open for a purpose. We started very late, and it was going to stop us from saying the things that we wanted to say. But we, stay tuned. We're going to have Agilon back. He lives in St. Kitts, and we need to start to promote our own. We talk about other herbalists, and we listen to them overseas. But I can tell you this: I have dealt with the overseas one, and I've dealt with this one locally, and I have benefited more from Agilon and the information that he has than we can benefit overseas. Overseas is very expensive. We have to learn to use our own natural resources, and he's a natural homegrown, and we have to look at that. It's Friday. COVID is still a reality. We have to exercise the same caution. We have to adhere to the protocols, that is social distancing. Make sure that your hands sanitize, and you have to wear that mask. It has saved lives, and it continues to do so, and all you have to do is do what you're supposed to do, and we would keep COVID-19 at bay. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I look forward to doing this program again next Friday. Stay tuned to WinFM 98.9. Voices is up next.
Everybody know, ain't no place like home. Me not know about you.